Welcome back, guys. This is Gaming with Alsta, and today we're on episode 108 of Pyramid City. What I'm gonna do today is continue constructing the stairways. What I looked like when I weighed 150 pounds, my skin looked like crap. Like, I looked as if I was very sick. Kind of sick. This is one of the potential consequences of taking one's desire to get extremely lean really far. You'd be at a point in which you'd start losing muscle mass, too. Not just fat, but also muscle. So if you want to be able to gain muscle, lose fat, try to do it while holding on to muscle mass. But don't shoot up steroids. Focus on high-protein foods. Yet you do need, but try not to get your fat percentage too low, because your body fat's kind of crucial for a lot of biological functions. Yes, this includes cholesterol synthesis, because all animal cells are made of cholesterol, and probably even plant cells too. It's possible that even plant cells are made of cholesterol too. At first, I always thought that cholesterol was only found in animal products, but then I realized that even vegetables do have indeed have cholesterol, but only in much smaller amounts. Only in smaller amounts you'll find cholesterol in vegetables. My destiny is to go into bodybuilding, like natural bodybuilding. Some people are prone to gaining a shit ton of muscle in a short period of time because of genetics. Why I'm staying with vegan diet? Because of all the health benefits it has. The truth is, a vegan diet can actually lower your blood pressure, thus reducing your risk of high blood pressure. Or more of a plant-based diet too, in general. Because not only you're consuming a lot less cholesterol than an animal-based diet, not only you're consuming a lot less cholesterol than a typical Western pattern diet, but you're not consuming as much saturated fats. My diet advice to you is to try to trim out meat from your diet slow and steady, then work your way up towards going vegan. Go slow and steady and work your way up. It's been exactly 2 years since I started going vegetarian. Believe it or not. exactly 2 years. Like, and 2 days. Like, reduced by 2 days. And I'm a lot healthier now. What I learned from my vegetarian to vegan diet is that you don't have to worry about protein as much because you can get all the protein you need from vegetables and starchy foods. Because a lot of starchy foods don't just have a lot of carbs, but also a lot of protein too. With the exception of potatoes. I know some people might call sweet potatoes nasty, but they're a good source of vitamin A. I'm focusing on a high-protein vegan diet. High-protein, high-carb vegan diet. If you don't have any fat stores to produce cholesterol, like if you're not consuming a lot of fat in your diet, your body has to rely on its own fat stores to produce the cholesterol necessary for function at the cellular level. Because all animal cells are made of cholesterol. That's one of the points that Sverige made that is absolutely true. All animal cells are made of cholesterol, but the false thing is that it's only found in animal cells. Let me tell you something, Sverige. It's not just found in animal cells. Even plant cells might have cholesterol in them too. But if they do, it's in very small amounts. If done very carefully, you can put your dog on a vegan diet if done very carefully. But cats are a different story, because they are obligate carnivores. By nature. Whilst dogs are omnivores. If I had a cat, I'd be feeding my cat raw meat. Straight from the butcher. Like, I'd go to a farmer's market to get the healthiest, the highest quality when it goes to meat. It's for the cat. I wouldn't buy it for myself, nor would I buy the meat for my children. Because with my children, I'd raise them on a vegan diet carefully. I'd be very careful. Putting my children on a vegan diet. Because, you know, some people advise against doing that. You know, carbs... Your body needs carbs and or fat in order for your body to be able to produce cholesterol. Your body needs carbs and or fat. Dogs might be able to survive on a vegan diet, only if the plan is carefully executed. When I was part of the robotics team in my school, one thing I knew is that one of the members of the robotics team I was a part of was actually full-on vegetarian. Yet his siblings were vegan. Before the vegan diet, my energy levels were pretty unstable before the vegan diet, but since going vegan, my energy levels have actually increased. I've been getting healthier. Yes, I've been getting healthier. I know some people won't believe me. But since going vegan, my health... Because if you want to care about your health, you gotta focus on what you're eating. If you want if you want to care about your health absolutely, you gotta care about what you're eating. You gotta focus on what you're eating. Don't just focus on protein, carbs, and fats. Don't just focus on that. Focus on the vitamins and minerals you need. You also have to worry about cholesterol, because if you consume too much cholesterol in your diet at once, like the more cholesterol you consume throughout your life, the greater your overall risk of heart disease. So try to keep cholesterol consumption minimized. To less than 1 milligram of cholesterol a day. And try to avoid dairy products and eggs. What I learned as a vegan is you can actually veganize junk food by switching out certain ingredients. Instead of using eggs, use applesauce. One of the reasons I decided to go vegan, mostly, a lot of it was out of ethical concerns. Then I realized it's not just out of ethical concerns, it's also for health concerns too. Because heart problems run in my family. And how I avoid the risk of heart disease? Simply by going vegan. Because following a plant-based diet that is mostly whole foods can actually reduce your risk of heart disease. Even more so than going down to because, you know, dietary cholesterol kind of plays a role in where your body is storing fat. As well as exercise. If you exercise every single day, you might still be fat, but you're not going to have as much of a beer belly. In fact, your body would start storing more subcutaneous fat, which means the fat that's underneath, just beneath your skin. Instead of it being stored in a visceral cavity, it'd be stored just beneath your skin. Which would be a good thing if you're trying to be healthy and fat at the same time. That's how sumo wrestlers stay healthy while getting fat. They exercise in a method to where their bodies are not to where their bodies cannot store any visceral fat, but instead they store it underneath, just beneath their skin. All the fat beneath their skin. It gives the illusion of central obesity, and that is because where your body stores the subcutaneous fat depends on, like, the vital organs in that area. If there are lots of vital organs, you're going to need more subcutaneous fat around that area. Like outside the visceral cavity. The worst place to store your body fat is in the visceral cavity. It's not about how much fat you have. It's more about where your body is storing it. If you study the inside of a sumo wrestler through DEXA scan, you'll realize that they cannot store any visceral fat. They don't store any visceral fat at all. And it's not about how much fat you have. It's more of where your body is storing the fat. That's how sumo wrestlers stay healthy, while being fat. Even if exercise does not make you thin or lean, it'll still improve your overall health no matter how fat or lean you are. That's one thing you need to do if you want to improve your health. You also have to focus on what you're eating too if you want to build muscle. If you're not consuming enough carbs, you're not going to be building a lot of muscle at all if you're not consuming enough carbs. Your muscles need carbohydrates. And if you store just enough subcutaneous fat, you can actually use those fat reserves to help your muscles get bigger. You can use that subcutaneous fat to enlarge your muscles. The problem you might face if you're trying to build muscle is overtraining. Take a day off once every couple of days. Like, start off by doing 6 days on, 1 day off, and if that's not working, if you're, go to like 5 days on, 1 day off. But try not to go below 2 days on, 1 day off. Try not to go below 2 days on, 1 day off. Because it's okay to overtrain a little. If you do 1 day off, 1 day on, more than 1 day off, you're under training. That's a sign you're not training enough. That's the sign that you're not training enough. Try to go for more than 1 day on, but stick to 1 day off in a pattern like that. Try to mix things up a bit. Until you get the mix just right, try to mix things up. Right now, I'm starting with 6 days on, 1 day off. Let's see how it goes. If it goes out well for my gains, I'm probably gonna stick to it. Like, I'll be doing it for about a year. I'm gonna do this for about a year. Let's see what happens to my gains. Because some people are, even if they don't take steroids, are known to recover very quickly because of good genetics. because of good genetics. Some people recover faster than others. Another thing that can affect your ability to gain muscle mass is the amount of fat your body has in storage. Those who are extremely lean, like sub 6% body fat, naturally would find it really hard to gain muscle. In fact, oftentimes they would actually begin to lose muscle mass. The only way I can hold on to the muscle mass when you're extremely lean like that is to probably be on steroids or SARMs. Just don't take them. When cutting down, take your time. Like, don't start cutting down 12 months before, no, don't start cutting down 3 months before competition. Start doing it about 6 months before competition. And start off slow. Like, try to do it in a controlled manner. To make sure you're mostly losing fat. Whilst holding on to muscle mass. Because a lot of bodybuilders want that thick look on their muscles. Play around with your on to off ratio until you get it just right. Tinker around with it until you get it just right. The gallop tempo when it goes to days on, days off is basically 3 days on and 1 day off. That's the gallop tempo when it goes to days on, days off. Don't go any more than 1 day off. Unless you have a muscular unless you're suffering from muscular dystrophy, unless you're malnourished. If there's no medical help right away. If you want to reduce your risk of heart disease, don't just focus on exercising, you gotta focus on what you're eating too. When mixed together, like between dietary and cholesterol and saturated fat, it's even worse for you than just saturated fat alone. Anyways, this should be it for episode 107 of Pyramid City. Or is it episode 100? Stay tuned for episode... This should be it for episode 107. Stay tuned for episode 108 of Pyramid City. This is Gaming with Austin signing off. But before I go, don't forget to leave a like if you liked this video. Dislike if you disliked it. Subscribe for more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook if you want more content, more updates on my series. As always, this is Gaming with Austin signing off. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more, and tschüss.